Hey, it's Jer. On Fridays, we try to have some fun episodes, and this is one of them. For December 4th, 2020, we're going to celebrate Boozemas. We're going to talk about local gifts and places and spirits to try in time for the holidays, or give a gift. A little bit of coming attractions next Friday. Right now we have scheduled author Mickey Lyons to talk about a variety of things around Prohibition, Detroit's history, as well as she's got a book, which is kind of cool. Anyway, welcome to your Daily Detroit. I'm going to stop yabbering. Let's get on to the show. Joining me virtually is our little, I would say, alcoholic roundtable, if you will, between Man About Town, Devon O'Reilly, and engineer Randy Walker, who both, I think, want to wish our listeners a Merry Boozemas.
Merry Boozemas indeed, Jerry and Randy, and listeners.
And Merry Boozemas to all of you.
How else are we going to get through Boozemas but shopping local and having some great options for people to pick up from places around the region that are not just booze, but also booze accessories, which I'm excited to talk about this whole category list, guys.
What we're doing today is sharing some of our favorite local booze-related gifts.
Booze and the holidays go perfectly together. You need booze to get through the holidays most of the time. And in 2020, more than ever, you need booze to get through the holidays and probably through the whole year, really.
And I mean, some of these things can be used by those who do not partake in booze. You could put anything in a tiki mug or use anything with an ice cube, but there's kind of like a whole theme here. If you're doing a non-alcoholic cocktail, that's also an option. But I know that both of you are just big cocktail fans, and I think that any cocktail that, unless you're doing it for a specific reason to be room temperature hot, needs a great ice cube. And this first one, King Cubes. What's the story with that, guys?
A company here in Ferndale, Detroit Iceworks, has released what they call King Cubes, which are the big square ice cubes that you get in your cocktails like old fashions. They sell them in stores around Ferndale currently. They come in a box of 8 cubes, just like you would get at a bar, and they are clearer, so they actually melt slower.
This isn't like a cocktail cube maker. You're getting a frozen thing.
No, this is the actual ice. Pick these up in the freezer from your favorite drinking supply store around Ferndale. A couple of places are Farmfield Table, Heights Food Center, Rainbow Liquor. So stop into one of those places, or even our favorite holiday market. Grab some King Cubes to keep your drinks cool and slowly diluted.
These cubes are really game changers. I'm sure many of our listeners are seasoned drinkers, but if you're not and you're just getting into it, there's such a difference in the way that ice plays at a drink. And if you're just using from the fridge ice or just your regular cubes, it melts faster, it dilutes the drink, it kind of disflavors the drink a little bit. When you got these slow melting larger cubes, it just makes such a big difference in the taste.
Okay. Well, staying in Ferndale, I hear there's some rare American whiskey.
The Oakland, they actually sell rare whiskeys by the bottle. So if you are looking for a fancy gift for the whiskey drinker in your life, I would recommend taking a look at their list to see what they have. Some examples I'm seeing from their website are an Elijah Craig 18-year from 2018 that goes for $300, or a Four Roses 130th anniversary for $450. So these are not cheap.
No, sir.
These are definitely a special gift for that special someone.
That is definitely a special gift. Devon, do you have any recommendations if someone is not going to do a $350 bottle of whiskey?
Well, I think some of our local establishments make whiskey and bourbon and spirits that are just as good as those folks down in Kentucky. Two James and Detroit City Distillery come to mind for me. They have multiple offerings and they are award-winning. I know that Detroit City Distillery just had a whiskey that won a double gold in a San Francisco spirits competition. So they take a backseat to nobody.
And not to discount the fancier whiskey, Randy, but let's just be honest, that's going to be only in certain people's price range, right?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely not mine.
Another one to talk about, and we've actually mentioned them on the show before, and the owner of this place is a friend of the podcast for sure, so full disclosure, but cocktail cubes from Castella, we've all tried these and had just great success with them, especially early on in the pandemic.
I still have a couple left in my fridge from this summer. These are great. They are pre-mixed cocktails, except for the alcohol. It's a little frozen cup of all of the mixers that you would need to make a drink, and then you just add your own spirits and stir or shake it up until the ice is fully melted.
Having a box of these is like having a full bar in your refrigerator or freezer. Pop one of these in and all you need to do is add the spirit. Castella has a great range of different types of cocktails and they tell you what booze goes best with what mixtures. So it's just a really cool program that they have there.
I don't know how people feel about tiki drinks. Let's do a little poll really quick. My hand is raised in that I like tiki drinks.
I'm a huge fan of tiki.
I love the idea of tiki drinks. They're a little sweet for me sometimes. I love the whole atmosphere. I love the whole vibe. I love the barware and glassware that goes along with tiki drinks.
There's a great tiki place in town called Lost River, and they're actually doing a selection of mugs to give you that tiki feel no matter what's in your drink, even if you make it a little bit less sweet, Devon.
They've got a whole selection. So if you want to bring that tiki vibe to your own house, pick up a couple of glasses from Lost River. They have things like seahorses, rum barrels, or they have a Lost River Hamtramck ceramic original mug that you can purchase too.
This next one, it's water. Why are we talking about water, guys?
This is a product called Wingman. It is sparkling water with electrolytes. And the whole premise of this beverage is to keep yourself hydrated and healthy while you're drinking. So alternate your cocktails with a bottle of Wingman. It comes in a couple of flavors like lime or plain. Keep yourself healthy while you're drinking.
These are a great addition. You want to usually kind of pace, if you're going to be doing a session drinking, you want to pace a cocktail and a glass of water. Cocktail and a glass of water. Maybe the glass of water gets a little boring after a couple drinks, but these Wingmen give you some flavor, give you some bubbles, kind of still feels like you're having a drink. So it's great for the actual wingman or maybe designated driver of the group, and even better as kind of a spacer in between a drinking session during these long nights in winter.
Even if you're not going crazy, I just think it's so crucial.
And these are no sugar, no alcohol, no calories, just water, electrolytes, and flavoring.
Oh, nice. Very nice. So this next one, I actually have 4 empty bottles sitting to the left of me of the studio because I think a couple of years ago, the owner of this place came in the studio and had a great conversation with us. They are still going strong. Who knew that leisure soda would become a thing?
Yeah, we're talking about Casamara Club's leisure soda, and these are kind of upscale, something to sip. You can certainly drink them by themselves. You can also mix them with your favorite spirits if you want to, but these come in great Amaro-based flavors, so they've got that slight bitterness to them that you find in a lot of craft cocktails.
I really like these, especially because, like you said, Randy, they have the Amaro flavors, they have some juniper flavors. It really does taste like you're drinking kind of a cocktail or a mixed drink. It's a really, really good flavor, especially if you're someone who enjoys the flavors of a mixed like gin cocktail, for instance.
Yeah, and I am a big fan of those for sure. I mean, I'm in that minority of people who absolutely loves a good gin.
Yeah, these have a lot of the botanical flavors that you would find in gins, in Campari, in things like that.
Yeah, don't think that you have to like gin to like these, but I think it's got that botanical kind of edge that I've seen in a number of drinks. Devon, there is a local distillery that has got just a whole bunch of things that have come out. I've seen you post about them on social media. Detroit City Distillery is up to some stuff.
Oh, yes, they definitely are. Shout out to my buddy Mike Forsyth at Detroit City Distillery. They have been just incredibly busy throughout the pandemic. They were making hand sanitizer at first, and then they were thankfully able to switch back to producing booze in large. And they've got a couple different things that are really cool offerings. One is their Smoke and Oak series, where they basically took some bourbon that already had a good flavor, some of their awesome, amazing bourbon, and they aged it in several different types of barrels, again, to give it a kind of double barrel aged flavor. It's just an extremely bold, smoky, oaky type of flavor that someone who likes the taste of bourbon is really going to enjoy. And they sell them in packs of 3. So you get yourself 3 different pints with distinct flavors in each of the packages at Detroit City Distillery. You can pick them up. You can order online. They've got a really cool outdoor market there as well.
How would you recommend somebody experience these 3 flavors?
First, you visit the outdoor market. So you pick them up from Detroit City Distillery. They're located in Eastern Market on Rio Pell Street. So you can go visit them. They're keeping pretty normal hours. I would definitely sip these bourbons neat. You want to try the flavors first. You want to really get a feel for what ones you like better. There's, certain ones have a little bit lighter flavor. Certain ones have a long kind of smoky, heavy finish. So just taste them out. Have yourself a little tasting session with these 3 bottles.
One of my favorite places, 2 James. I really enjoy their circular bar there. Unfortunately, that's not something we can enjoy right now in these times, but they are making some great booze. And this next one is really interesting to me because, well, you can put it in coffee, and I am a coffee addict, to say the least.
This is a great offering from 2 James. They're always innovative in what they come up with. So they take their Smoking Gun whiskey, which in and of itself is a story because they collaborated with Johnny Noodle King to use some of the essence of the broth in the noodle bowls at Johnny Noodle King to make this whiskey. So you already have that interesting umami flavor from the noodle broth that's in this whiskey. And then they took that and made an additional drink out of it, adding some spices, adding some cream, and creating almost like a Bailey's alternative.
That sounds pretty great. And have a local Bailey's alternative, I think I'm all down for. The next one I think is a perennial favorite, and I keep forgetting that there's lots of people who don't know about it, and there's lots of people who just adore this every year. Sippin' Santa, and it's very holiday themed.
At least a few of our listeners have been to the Skip for their Sippin' Santa, which is their holiday pop-up. It's a really cool place. In years past, they had such a great atmosphere. They would play Christmas movies. They decorated their whole, usually tiki bar for the holidays, kind of a Santa tiki theme. It was really great. And they had special cocktails that they made for the season. They also had special glassware. And they're taking all of that, their Blitzen Bowl, their Coloca Colada, their Runway Sleigh, their Rum Rum Rudolph, all of their favorite drinks. And they're offering all of those as to-go cocktails that you can pick up. You can also order the drinkware that goes along with it. So the Sippin' Santa Tiki mug, your coconut shaped mug, you've got, stuff to pour highball cocktails and tiki drinks. It's just really the whole experience, basically, you can still get by getting it from them and then taking it to your home.
The other one is called the Miracle. Randy, I know you have thoughts about that one.
Miracle is a Christmas-themed pop-up at the Oakland. So it's a sister event to this Sippin' Santa, whereas Sippin' Santa is kind of tiki themed. The Miracle is generic Christmas themed. So you get things like a gingerbread flavored old fashioned or a fruitcake flip, which is a Jamaican rum drink with flavors of fruitcake and spiced fruits and things like that. So they also do the fancy glassware you can buy. And these are, again, cocktails to go that you can order from the Oakland.
I got a question about this, and I've had a couple of these to go, but I haven't done it as much as maybe the two of you. Do you guys have any tips for people who are doing these to-go drinks and picking them up? Any pro tips?
So what I would do is make sure you kind of make this kind of an event. And I think that makes it more fun. You're going to go grab a cocktail. Because you're picking it up from the place, you're not going to get the experience of having it served to you, but you can kind of recreate that experience in your own home by choosing interesting glassware, maybe celebrating something, putting a holiday movie on TV, really maybe drink some of these while decorating your tree. I think the key to enjoying these take-home to-go cocktails is really to create that ambiance, to create that experience within the comfort of your own home, but use all of the different cool drinks and cocktails and glassware that you can get from these places.
Well, one of the things I like is, although I know how to make a good number of cocktails, I like the idea that I can just open it up and go, especially if I'm going to have a night in, if I'm going to do something where, like, I'm going to have a cocktail and set up the Christmas tree or do some holiday cards or something. It's a step that I don't necessarily have to do. And I think that can also be good if you've got family with you or something, you just want to have a cocktail around the fire and you've got a ton of busy stuff going on with handling the kids. I feel like that it just makes it a whole lot easier, and it's part of why it's worth it.
One special note is that these bars cannot make these cocktails ahead of time, so you might be waiting just a few minutes while they make your drink once you arrive.
Well, that's a nice thing too, though, is that you're actually going to get something that was made pretty darn soon, which is pretty cool. Well, guys, I really appreciate both of you. Listeners, if you've got your own suggestions on what we missed or someplace that we should know about, make sure to email us at dailydetroit@gmail.com. And of course, Randy, Walker, Devon, O'Reilly, I appreciate you. And I'm sure we'll talk before the holidays, but Merry Christmas to both of you.
Merry Christmas and Merry Boozemas. I hope everybody enjoys some of these offerings, throws on their ugly Christmas sweater, kicks their feet up, puts on a movie, and enjoy some of these great cocktails and great offerings from local places here in Detroit and thereabouts.
Merry Christmas and Merry Boozemas.
And that's it for today. Special shout out to Cheyenne Noserini, who has been helping us get these shows out the door. And of course, thank you to you, our listeners and members. If supporting us is something you want to do, consider it at patreon.com/dailydetroit. We greatly appreciate it. Also, thanks to all the people who have been sending the screenshots of their Spotify Unwraps. It's crazy every time I see one. It's insane, but thank you. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm Jer Stays. Take care of each other, and we'll get through this together.